So as part of the general lore and atmosphere improvements in Alpha 10, we've improved the visual effects found throughout the game.
Well, we wanted to get a lot more visual enhancements into Alpha 10. Now the design is settling down, we feel as though we can have a pretty good idea of what visuals we can put in the game to enhance SkySaga. Popcorn Effects is a fantastic piece of off-the-shelf software by a company called Persistent Studios. It's a scripting-based piece of software. We can do stuff that you don't normally see in a lot of games. It's going to be an iterative process, so you'll see improvements to every single aspect of the game's visuals.
So for Alpha 10 we introduced fireworks and these new firework launchers that you can connect to your LumaStar network. So they'll set off fireworks and the way you craft them determines what kind of firework you get. So if you put in different ingredients you might get a different firework.
It's a nice balance to the recipe-based crafting that we've got elsewhere in the game, that we've got these areas that players can experiment and know they'll get a result, but they'll get different results each time.
So one thing that I, for example, did playing with it was connected to the end of a race. So you can have a little firework display going off when someone completes your race island.
So we've added a new range of fantasy block types found on adventures, each of which has different properties. The cool thing about these blocks is that players can harvest them like any others and use them as part of their builds. The reason behind adding these fantasy block types was in part to reinforce that magical feeling to the lore, and in part to give players new options for builds.
There's obvious things you could use it for, races and challenges on your home islands, but also just making them look cool and different. I mean, I've always said that the wonderful thing about the community is that they'll find the most incredible ways to use stuff, ways that we wouldn't even think about when we first created them in the first place. So I definitely look forward to seeing how they get used.
So these new blocks add a huge new variety of tools and effects for our builders to use in their creations, to add more flavour to their worlds and to add new effects that the players can experience themselves.
The fantasy blocks have got a very, very distinctive visual look about them at the moment. My job is to add a layer of particle effects over the top and make sure that it enhances the look of the block, so you will see straight away in game that these things are special, so they'll have movement associated with them, like bubbles of soap over the soap block, embers coming from the magma. I think people are going to have a lot of fun constructing things with them.